Alrighty boyos, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing? Guys, today we're going to be talking about the military weapon set and whether or not we're going to be seeing it in Season 9. Now, if you guys weren't around for yesterday's video, which by the way, after I recorded that video, we did do a live stream on Twitch, freaking Magist of all people came out to the Twitch stream and literally pronounced himself as a boyo. So guys, we have gained a new member to the boyo army. It's actually pretty awesome, Magist. I'm not sure if you're watching this video, but I really do appreciate that. You're a freaking awesome guy. But in the video yesterday, before we did the stream, we were talking about the new roadmap. And for those of you guys that weren't around, make sure you guys go check out that video because it's got a lot of really good news in it. Now, as far as the roadmap is concerned, there is a portion at the end of the roadmap. This is around like, the second to last paragraph, whatever. It says, finally, Season 9 will be including some significant changes to your Storm Shield, which opens the door for a new game mode, particularly focused on Storm Shield defenses. We'll have more details for you as we approach the new season. Now let me go ahead and enhance the vision a little bit. There we go. This final sentence says, we're also bringing back a highly requested weapon set around this time, so be on the lookout. And as you guys can probably tell, that's exactly what this entire video is about. We're talking about the military weapon set. Now, I have been discussing with a few different people and some other content creators, some other streamers, and we've been talking about, what could this weapon set be? Because, the first thing that comes to mind is military set, but there's also another set that does exist known as the Flintlock set. Now, if we go to the collection book, we can take a look at these sets. They are under the event schematics. Now, the Flintlock weapons, you have, the Duelist, you have the Dragoon, Sir Hootie, you have the old Betsy, you have the is it just really just called Fishing Hook? I guess it's just called Fishing Hook. We have the Fishing Hook, and then Corsair and Jack's Revenge, they don't count because they're new. And of course, the thing that isn't here, the two things that aren't here, is the Bundle Bus and the Typewriter. And actually, I thought it was interesting. I went to the Fortnite Wikipedia and actually found that the Typewriter is apparently, at least in the Wikipedia, counted as a Flintlock weapon, which was kind of interesting to me. So I'll give the Flintlock weapon set that. Because there's only two weapon sets in this entire game that they could possibly be talking about, but in this video I'm going to be convincing you why it's the military weapon set, and then we'll be going over the best military weapons that are in the set that you should be keeping an eye out. So as far as the Flintlock weapon set is concerned, nobody ever asks for the Flintlock weapon set. When they're asking for weapons and whenever they're asking for stuff to return, they're normally talking about specific weapons in the Flintlock weapon set, because the Flintlock weapon set as a whole, aside from Jack's Revenge and Corsair and the things that we're about to talk about now, really isn't that great. When people are talking about what they want, they're talking about the Bundle Bus. Of course, everybody wants the Bundle Bus. Everybody wants the Bundle Bus. And now, I personally think that for the Bundle Bus, they're probably going to wait until the birthday event before they allow people to get the Bundle Bus again, because that's going to rake in a lot of cash. A lot of people are going to be coming to the game, and a lot of people are going to be spending V-Bucks to try to get tickets. I have a feeling it's a business decision that the Bundle Bus is probably going to be in the birthday llamas. And then we also have another weapon, another spicy weapon that people love. It's the old Betsy. The old Betsy is one of the best weapons in the game. If you guys have done Frostnite 128, which, not to brag or anything. Anyways, if you guys have done Frostnite 128, you guys know that the old Betsy was essential so that you could stagger your enemies and such. The old Betsy's amazing outside of that, but that's one of the reasons people like it. The old Betsy and the Bundle Bus are two of the most revered weapons in the game. As for the rest of the Flintlock weapon set, not so much. Now, even though, like I said, even though I don't consider it a Flintlock weapon, and the wiki says it is, I'll give it to them. The Typewriter, even though this weapon isn't good necessarily, I've tried all sorts of different builds with this weapon. It doesn't really stack up to other assault rifles, but it's a fan favorite because it's a very cool looking weapon. It's not in Battle Royale anymore. You hold it from the hip. It's kind of a hip fire weapon. It's very unique. Typewriter is really cool, but it's not really good. Well, with the military weapon set, it's an entire different story, okay? So let's go on to the collection book, let's go to the event schematics, and let's take a look at the military weapon set. Now, when people are asking, like I just said, for the Flintlock weapons, they're talking about the two specific, and maybe the Typewriter as well, when they're talking about it. When people are asking for the military set, they're asking for the military set, because the military set has some of the best weapons in the game. So normally people are asking for the entire set, and that is why I believe that the military set would be coming back in Season 9. So let's take a look at these weapons. First up, you got the Whisper 45, arguably one of the best weapons in the game as far as pistols go. When people ask me for a good pistol build, what I'll tell them is go with a Rat-a-tat. You know, it's like the best machine pistol in the game. You should go with the Founder's Revolt. That'll give you multi-target damage. And then you go with a wild card. You know, get a Jack's Revenge, get a Ginger Blaster, a Whisper 45. Whisper 45 is among one of the best pistols in the game, without a doubt. Silent Spectre, another weapon, one of the best weapons in the entire game, and the military set has two weapons that define an entire meta within the game. You got the long-range Wraith and the short-range Silent Spectre, both of which are needed for this meta, and both of which come from the military weapon set. There's no question whatsoever, Silent Spectre, easily a top 3 assault rifles in the entire game, no questions asked. Silent Spectre is one of the greatest guns in the game. You have the crossbow. It's not really as bad as some people say it is, and I think this one's a legacy. It's not really bad as people say it is, but it's not that good. You know, nobody really likes the crossbow too much. I never see people using it. Ground Pounder, an underrated weapon in my opinion, because I think before the hero rework, the Ground Pounder was probably better, because ever since the hero rework, shotguns probably got a little bit weaker, I believe, because of the whole crit rating buffs not really being there. But the Ground Pounder back in the day used to be a very mean weapon, although it was slightly underrated. Then you have the storefront military items, okay, and I don't understand why the Wraith isn't here personally, but you know, we'll go over the Wraith in a minute. You got the Hacksaw, one of my personal favorite LMGs. The only thing I don't like about the Hacksaw is the fact that you can't really crit build this weapon. You gotta go with raw damage, but even with raw damage, this is a mean build to go alongside, you know, the kind of normal Mercury LMG build. The reason the Mercury LMG is so good is because of the crit, but with this weapon right here, you're looking for a reliable LMG. This is the most reliable LMG you're gonna get, especially as far as bloom is concerned and just overall DPS. And then you have the Bobcat, you know, easy a top 5 weapon in the game. Bobcat is definitely a fan favorite amongst many people. Who doesn't like a good P90, a definite fan favorite choice, probably more than the typewriter in my opinion. We have the Lynx, and I would consider this one a popular choice because it's a FAMAS, and a lot of people like the FAMAS. Although this weapon in particular is bad, it's still a really cool weapon to have, and you know, even I like the weapon a lot despite it being kind of bad. Then we have the Tiger. Now this weapon is a little bit above average. I think before the hero rework it was a lot better because Urban Assault was a lot better, and that's what made the Tiger shine so much. The Tiger is definitely a fan favorite as well, and I personally like this weapon. Mine has all legendary perks. Tiger is a very, very beloved weapon. Then you have the Obliterator. This weapon came back twice, I believe, and it's probably the best pickaxe in the entire game. And a lot of people think I'm joking when I say that, but my personal Obliterator has 2 fire rate perks and a magazine perk, because this weapon destroys everything in one shot, and it has crazy durability, and you can give it to your defenders and they can do absolute crazy work. You know, the Obliterator is a must for a lot of people if they don't have the Neon Sniper. You have the Quad Launcher. Now this weapon isn't necessarily that great, but damn if it is a fun rocket launcher to use. I remember using this bad boy back in Challenge the Horde, shooting it into the trap tunnel, so whenever the husks would walk by, they'd be taking that fire damage and taking damage over time. I always thought it was really cool, a way that you could weaken the husks as they were coming in, do some initial damage, and then burn them over time. And of course, which is not in the collection book, we of course have one of the most, if not the most popular weapon in the game, the freaking Wraith. Everybody loves the Wraith. Well, okay, that's debatable. A lot of people don't like the bloom of this weapon. I personally, this is my favorite gun in the entire game. It is easily one of the best guns in the entire game, and it in and of itself, my bad, has defined an entire meta within this game. The entire Wraith and Silent Spectre meta is known by pretty much any in-game player that plays this game a lot, that use the Wraith at extreme long range, and you use the Silent Spectre when things get up close. That's just how it normally goes. And both of these weapons combined would make the military weapon set way more useful than I would say the flintlock weapon set. You know, whenever I'm ranking my personal assault rifles, I would put Bundle Bus at, you know, number 3. Put Wraith at number 1, Spectre at number 2, and Bundle Bus at 3 because you can't use the Bundle Bus under all circumstances. So that's why I would do that. And, you know, whenever it comes to the Spectre and the Wraith, you can use these things in whatever circumstance all the time. And not to mention, you know, these aren't the only weapons in the military weapon set. Like I've said, we have the Bobcat, we have the Lynx, we have the Quad Launcher, the Hacksaw. There's just so much more stuff, and more people have requested the military weapon set specifically than the flintlock weapon set. You know, and so I do imagine that this will come back. Now, that also asks the question of, are these going to be in llamas? You know, are you going to have to save up your tickets for these? Well, for Season 9, I imagine we're not going to be doing the spring event anymore. We're going to practically be in summer by that time. So do not save your tickets. These are probably more than likely not going to be in a llama, and even if they were, your tickets would get converted to pirate llamas, and we're probably more than likely going to be seeing this in the expansion schematics alongside the hydraulic, the scavenger, and the neon and vendor tech. So it's a high possibility. There, at least in my mind, is no way possible that the flintlock weapon set would get preferred over the military weapon set, just because the military weapon set has more things in it that are more requested, and the set in general is requested to come back because of the weapons that it has. The flintlock weapon set only has 2 weapons, 3 if you add the typewriter, and even then it doesn't even come close to touching the amount of hype that the military weapon set has in it. So in my personal opinion, the military weapon set is going to be coming back in Season 9, and I think you guys should make sure that you save up your flux and save up, you know, all your manuals and everything you're going to need to research this kind of stuff. Granted, it should be appearing in the normal llamas as well, but get a little bit hype, guys. I get constant questions on streams and in comment sections on Twitter. When is the military weapon set coming back? And that little piece of the roadmap pretty much confirmed that the military weapon set is coming back, and this entire video just kind of served a little bit to solidify my point on the fact that I believe that it's coming back. But guys, let me know your opinions in the comments down below. That is it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I sure enjoyed making it. Thank you guys so much for the support as of recent. It has been absolutely insane. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.